As you retire to your seat, go ahead and tell your neighbor, talk is cheap. Now make sure you say it to the right one now, because I don't want you not to be able to go home. Talk is cheap. What I want to do is take a little bit of time today, even though I know that things are going on all over the world, is to talk about something a little closer to home. Is that all right? See, I know that this is a teaching church, and I know that in this church right here, we not only have our Bibles in our hand, but we have our newspapers in the other hand. So I know that you are well aware of the events that happened way across the water in Paris. And I do not only sympathize with the families, but I do empathize for the loss that people feel at the hands of people that are not operating in God's Spirit. But on this day, I want to talk about something closer to home, because this is my premise, Brother Nate. How can we be so concerned about everything that happens over there, and not be concerned about what happens over here? Come on now, I promise you, I'm not being insensitive, but how is it that the preacher is so concerned about everybody else's kids, but he's not concerned about his own? Do I have a witness? How is it that my husband gets to go fix everybody else's car, but mine is broke down? I'm trying to help you. How is it that you so busy worried about what they doing and not worried about what you doing? I'm trying to help somebody. Sometimes it helps us to worry about things that are a little closer to us. I'm going to give you a Bible, because you're looking at me like I'm crazy. The Bible says it kind of clear. What does it profit a man to gain the whole wide world and lose his soul? Do you know what the problem is for some of us? Some of us are so concerned about everything happening all out there that we cannot figure out what's going on in here. They quiet up in here. That's right. I'm going to keep preaching anyway. You got a word for everybody else, but you ain't got a word for yourself. I'm trying to help you. I'm telling you right here. You got to advice for everybody else, but don't have advice for yourself. I'm trying to help you. You can tell everybody else how they're not following what God called them to do, yet you have not considered what God said to you. Sometimes it helps us to come a little closer to home. Come on now, I practice what you preach. I like that trail. I'm going to keep that. You don't mind, do you? Tell your neighbor real quick, go ahead and practice what you preach. And so instead of talking about what's going on in France, I'd like to talk about what's going on in Missouri. Missouri, right here in the US of A. I don't know how many of you understand what's been going on in Missouri, but I want to talk about it. Why? Because the president of the University of Missouri, his name is Tim Wolf, he resigned last week. The president of a major college, 6 figures he was probably making, powerful man, president of a college, resigned. Not only did he resign, but if you kept watching the news, what you'll realize is that the chancellor of the university, now that's the real big guy in charge, he has said that he will retire at the end of the year. How is it that the president of the college and the chancellor of the college are going to leave the college? Well, I'm going to go ahead and go a little deeper. What had happened was that there were some racial tensions going on at the University of Missouri. African-American students could not walk across the campus and be safe. African-American students were subject to not just one incident, but many incidents of discrimination. They felt unsafe, and they decided they were going to do something about it. Isn't that a novel idea, y'all? Something happened that you're upset with, something happened to you, and you decide not to let it go, but actually do something about it. I wish I had some quiet home today. The weather must have taken everybody's voice. Let me help you out with something. If you want the enemy to stop running roughshod over your life, it's time to do something about it. Let me stop right there. That's only a couple of words. I think you need to get that in your spirit. You mad about your finances? Stop looking at payday loans. Stop trying to sell your car. Stop trying to sell your backside, but do something about it. You don't like the way your relationship is going? Don't blame her. Don't blame him. Stop pointing the finger over there, but do something about it. I think I'm still in the wrong building. They're a little slow. Let's bring the slow bus on around the corner. I'll be out there in a minute. Too many times we have things going on in our life, and we want to spend a whole lot of time spitting, foaming, rolling at the mouth when God is saying, come on now, do something about it. Can you tell your neighbor, challenge her real quick? I need you to do something about it. You don't like the way your mama and daddy act, and you don't want to be like them. Do something about it. You don't like the generational curses in your family. You need to do something something about it. Oh, I see I'm still in the wrong place. That's all right. You sick in your body. You mad because you don't like the way you look. Stop eating ice cream, baby. Do something about it. I'm trying to help you up in this place. You mad because you ain't in shape like you supposed to be. Get your job on there. Do something. I wish I had a church in here that would stop talking about stuff and actually wanted to do something about it.
You in the right house.
At the University of Missouri, African-American student was walking across the campus and they called him the N-word. Y'all know what the N-word is, right? Of course they know what the N-word is because they use it all the time. Now you mad because white person call you a nigga and then you call yourself a nigga and then you try to fool me like I don't know English. I didn't say nigger, I said nigga. Can we say D-U-M-B up in the house? Because just because you threw an A on the end of it because you didn't want to finish off the word doesn't make it any less niggerish. Yet we will get mad at someone of a different persuasion who calls us that, and yet we call ourselves that. I digress. I'm going to go ahead and move on. I see I'm in the wrong church. They don't like that little stuff right there. And so they kept talking about their homecoming. They were trying to get ready for homecoming, and they were shouting racial slurs at them during that thing. The straw that broke the camel's back, Joe, in the dorm where many of them resided, as well as other minorities, they slurred a swastika on the wall in feces.
Yeah.
I'm going to slow down for a minute because somebody don't know what I'm talking about. I say feces, you say poop. I say fifi, you say stink. See, baby girl know what I'm talking about. They took feces, they took poop. You know what I'm talking about right there, young blood. They took the brown stuff, you know, the stinky stuff. They pulled it out the toilet, well, probably didn't put it in the toilet bowl. But they put a swastika over the door. Now, for those of you who are a little slow on the uptake, don't worry about it. Joe, keep the door unlocked. We still working on the slow bus crew right here. The swastika was the Nazi sign of white power. It was their thought that they were part of the Aryan race, the white race, blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin. They were the supreme race and that everyone else was inferior. And so they put this across their door just to show them that this may not be 1950, but we still got some 1950 spirits rolling around. And can I help you, church, real quick? While you busy shouting, you better understand that there are some spirits that are still around. Come on now. Don't be fooled now. Just because you get to hang out don't mean that they all of a sudden lovey-dovey about you. I'm trying to help you. Just because we get along, and we do get along a whole lot better than we used to, doesn't mean that there are still some places where you can't ride and end up dying. I'm trying to help you. That doesn't mean that there are some things that you still cannot do in some places. I'm trying to help you up in here. Just because you got pretty hair, got some weave, got some money, just because you have rose up and evolved in the world, doesn't mean that some people still don't look at you just like another. You figure it out. But this is what I like about the students at Missouri, preacher. They said, we gonna do something about it. And so what they did was they accosted the university president, they accosted the president, the person in charge. They stopped him and they spoke to him. And they surrounded his car, as a matter of fact, so he couldn't drive anywhere. They spoke to him. And when their words didn't work, they decided to do something about it. Can I go ahead and take my bike, pull out my kickstand and park right there just for a second? When words don't work.
My God.
Here we go again. Brother Marshall, I just wish I was in a different church this morning. I probably should have got a sermon about you gonna get a house if you click your heels 3 times. But I'm gonna go ahead and say it again. I'm gonna stick to the one I got. Sometimes when words don't work, do I have a witness in this place? After I prayed about it, when words don't work, then I go to the next level. When words don't work, I got any parents up in the house when I told you to stop and told you to stop and told you to, and I told you to come in and I told you to come and I told you to pull up your, do I have anybody up in this place that says I got another level to me? After the words don't work, I cross the line and take it to the next thing. They decided to do something about it. What did they do about it, preacher? They went on a hunger strike. I like that, Brother Nate. And you know why I like that? That sounds almost like a fast. Why do you like that, Brother Nate? Because some things only come out by fasting and prayer. I don't think I got any Bible readers up in the house. Do you want to know what's wrong in the church sometimes? We've done a whole lot of things. We know how to dance. We know how to shout. But we've left out fasting and prayer. Do I have anybody up in this place that can witness and testify hours after I've gone to the service, after I've heard the word, I've gone to prayer and fasting. I see I don't have any prayer and fasting up in this place. Well, I'm praying for God in this season that everybody who's sitting on their duff will become a prayer and a faster in this season. Why? Because some things only happen by fasting and prayer.
That's right. Yeah.
This young brother went on a hunger strike. They formed an organization. The name of the organization, I believe, was Concerned Black Students 1950. Why 1950? 1950 was the year, the first year, that they admitted into graduate school an African American student. This is what they did, Joe. They put together an agenda and a plan. They said what we want from now on is a curriculum that is inclusive of racial tolerance and education. What we want from now on is a safer campus. As a matter of fact, we need a 10-year plan that shows that you're going to make this campus safer and more inclusive for black people. Thirdly, we want to make sure that you hire more African American teachers. Why? Because we need some teachers that look like us. Ooh, went right over your head right there. It's a little different when somebody has already gone through the road that you've gone through. Sometimes they have a little empathy for you. Let me tell you something here, baby. If you ain't never been through nothing, chances are you don't know anything about what I'm going through. If you've never been hurt, chances are you don't know anything about my hurt. If you've never been stabbed in the back, you look at you right now, looking at me like I'm crazy. The problem in the church sometimes is that we don't relate enough to each other. You need to find you a neighbor real quick. Find you a neighbor that's been going through something like you've been going through. Get you one that you can agree with and give God some glory. We go through stuff all by ourselves in the church, Joe. We act like we're the only person that ever went through something, Joe. And sometimes it's not our fault. It's the other people who sitting beside us acting like they ain't never been through anything. But do I have a church in this place who's willing to be transparent? I keep it 100 up in here. I've been through the fire. I've been through the flame. I've been through the flood, but God has delivered me. Do I have a witness up in this place? I've been through some things. I've fallen down. I've gotten back up, but God is still good. I've had some good days and some bad days, but I won't complain. I see I'm still in the wrong church. God is sitting on the throne up in this place. I thank Him for what He's done in my life. I might not be what I need to be, but I'm not what I used to be. Do I have any praisers up in this house who are willing to give God some glory? Do I have somebody in this place who's willing to testify? Can I get a witness up in here? So they had a plan, Joe, which is kind of different for us because sometimes we want to shout without a plan.
Yes. Right.
Sometimes we want to praise without a plan.
Yeah.
Sometimes we act out of emotion. How do you call it, Sister Yo-Yo, the me and me? Does anybody have that kind of disease that Yo-Yo and I have, the me and me? You got to watch the me and me, Brother D. Every now and then the me and me don't quite act like I'm supposed to act. Sometimes we act out of emotion without a plan, but these young folks had a plan.
Yeah.
And then something amazing happened. They were going on a hunger strike, and then the university football team stepped in.
Yes.
About 69, 70 some odd % of players on the Missouri football team are African American. They were looking at the situation that was going on in Missouri, and they decided, before I was a football player, I was a black man. I don't hear nobody up in this place. Before I put on that Gucci and the Fendi, I was, but I wish I had some people up in this place. But at the end of the day, before I was all of that, I was a child of God. I don't hear nobody up in here. Do you know who you really are when you boil you down to the basics? Yeah, before I had this pretty looking exterior, I belong to God. Yeah, because before I had this money right here on, I belong to God. That's right. Before I was a Harris, I belong to God. Yeah, before I belonged to the church, I belong to God. Y'all ain't hearing me. Before I preached, before I sung, I belong to God. I don't hear nothing in this place, and you can take all of that away, but as long as you don't take God away, I am still who I am. See, that's the problem right now. You think you're your hair, that's the problem right now. You think you're your nails, you're the problem right now. You think you're not the clothes you wear, you're not the car you drive, you're not the house you live in, you're not the family you're a part of, but you are a child of God. Somebody give God some glory. I'm not defined by that stuff right there.
All right.
They knew who they were. And so this is what they did, Brother Nate. They said, we will not play another football game
Come on.
until the president is gone.
Yes. Yes. Preach,
Let me help you out with something now. Football is big business. I don't know how many people have ever played any sports up in this place, but football is a multi-million-dollar sport, even at the collegiate level. And so when these black men decided, oh, they were black men too. I don't hear no brothers up in this house. All the black women, I don't hear no black women up in this house. Come on now, you want to talk about Tyrone, you want to tell him to go home, but when you got a good black man, you don't want to raise up and give him some praise. We got black men in church. We got black men who are mentors. We got black men that go to work. We got black men who are honest, and we don't want to open our mouth. And that's why they go south on you. That's why they go selling drugs on you, because you praise the stupid instead of praising the good. Somebody, that's all right. I don't need the women to praise God for me. Where are the brothers in the house? I'm willing to praise God. I'm so thankful to be a black man. I'm so thankful for my black skin. I'm so thankful for my black experience. Oh, I'm thankful, baby. Fearfully and wonderfully made I am. And they don't have to co-sign for me. I'll co-sign for myself. For God and I are a majority. We're the black men willing to give God praise. Come on, brothers, don't get quiet on me now. Come on, brothers, don't get quiet on me. I know you smooth. I know you smooth. I know you're suave. But we're the black men that are willing to open up their mouth and give God some glory. We made it through slavery. We made it through incarceration. We made it through racism. We ain't got a noose on our neck. We ain't got a billy club on our head. We are not a statistic. Somebody give God some praise. When those black men stood up and decided they were not going to play, then it became an economic thing. Maybe I should stop right there. I think I will. See, until the African American community begins to make it hurt in somebody's wallet, people are not going to listen to us. Why do you keep buying timberland, and timberland got a tree and said that they don't care whether or not you get hung on it? I don't hear nobody up in this place. Oh, why do we give all our money to every other community and never keep it circulated within ours? I see it again. I'm preaching to the wrong crowd. But let me tell you something. If we began to support ourselves, if we began to strengthen our own communities, if we began to teach our own kids, if we began to care about ourselves, then somebody else will be forced to care about us. Let me break it down like this. Do I have any ladies in the house? I think I do. Does a man care for you any more than you care for you? If you don't love you, baby, he won't love you. If you don't consider yourself, he won't consider you. He'll treat you exactly how you treat yourself. Until the black community begins to treat itself better, nobody else is going to treat us better. Until we stop shooting ourselves dead in the street, we are not going to get better. Until we stop calling our women everything but beautiful queens, then they are going to exploit our women. Until we stop treating our kids wrong, they will not treat. We got to do better. See, I know what they want. See, I know what they want. They want me to start humming and screaming. And they want me to get churchy on them. Ooh, but I ain't gonna do that. Because sometimes they need to just get it real. Any preacher can come up here and start singing for you. We ain't gonna do that. It's about being empowered so you can leave here better than you came in.
You gotta preach up in here.
And so because it began to cost them money, because it began to cost them money. Let me help you out with something. Do you not understand that the whole mass incarceration, school to prison pipeline is about money?
Yeah.
It costs over $120,000 to